Until late last year, when their names were controversially thrust into public limelight over the now revoked Adani-linked contracts, Nairobi lawyer Adil Khawaja and businessman Jayesh Saini were largely unknown to majority of Kenyans, their outstanding accomplishments in their respective spheres notwithstanding. Adil is currently serving as the chairman of the Safaricom PLC Board of Directors, a position he assumed in January 2023. He also serves as the managing partner at Denton's Hamilton, Harrison and Matthews law firm, which was established in 1902. Adil is also a director of a company named NMC Fertility Kenya that is part of the complex web of Jayesh Saini's healthcare companies that are said to be taking over Kenyan healthcare system. He is also director at Bliss Healthcare, the company that is alleged to have brought the controversial Social Health Authority and the Social Health Insurance. On the other hand, Jayesh, who was the chief executive officer of Bliss Healthcare, which started in 2012 and is now the chairman, has won the Lifetime Achievement Award, a prestigious global award from CEO Story, for his revolutionary role. Jayesh is said to have a controlling stake at Nairobi West Hospital and is said to be the person behind the concept of universal health coverage that was introduced in Kenya in 2010. However, their names have been controversially mentioned multiple times in high public interest multi-billion government projects, some of which have been revoked, having been cited as masterminded haste schemes locally and internationally. Owing to the gravity of the claims leveled and the nature of public interest the dealings have attracted, our attempts to get responses from both Khawaja and Saini through email, short message service and calls made proved futile. They did not respond or answer the calls to the SMSs or questions sent through email. The latest to link them to alleged corrupt dealings is former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua, who sensationally recently mentioned that the duo have played the role of key executors of shady deals, which the former second-in-command claimed were crafted at State House Nairobi, which he termed as the center of corruption in the country. So far, neither State House nor any of the mentioned personalities have responded to the grave accusations by Gachagua. The claims have since elicited fresh public interest in the mega deals amid mixed reactions.
The State House of Nairobi is the real center of corrupt activities. And there are watu wawili, moja anaitwa Adil na mwingine anaitwa Jayesh. These are the conveyors of corruption in this country. Na ndio watu wenye she and sha. Ndio wale watu ya Adani. Na hao watu wakija kuona rais, hata ukiwa deputy president kama minister, utamungoja hapo saa 5 akiongea na hiyo watu. Wakipanga hiyo mane? So Mr. President, be an honest man.
When asked if they have launched probe into Gachagua's claims, the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission chairman Bishop David Oginde said the commission has no intention of launching an investigation, stating the agency is not a dog to go after everything thrown at it.
State House as the center of corruption. Are we doing anything about it? Let me tell you this. We are a legally mandated institution that operates within the framework of the law. So we are not dogs, if I use that word, that say shika huyu na unakimbia na shika.
Gachagua, a frequent visitor to the House on the Hill before his fallout with Ruto last year, culminating in his impeachment in October last year, alleged that Khawaja and Jayesh used to spend hours cutting deals there and that those who wanted to have a word with the president, including himself as then DP, were kept waiting for up to 5 hours. Giving an example of the affordable housing program, the former DP, who has styled himself as the truthful man, added, quote-unquote, if you look up at the affordable housing program, it is the worst fraud against the people of Kenya, and it is good that it held the country. It has nothing to do with housing. It is business. If you want to build a house, you must go and sign a contract with companies that will sell the cement, steel, and iron sheets, and people behind those companies are at State House. End of quote. Khawaja and Jayesh's connections with President Ruto started generating interest following the Gen Z revolt in June-July 2024 that turned the tide against President Ruto's administration, spotlighting its failings, including in the war against corruption, amid revelations of questionable mega deals it had struck since coming to power. The first was the planned 30-year lease of the Jomo Kenyatta International Airport in return for a 260 billion shilling investment in its modernization by the Indian conglomerate founded by Gautam Adani. The Indian conglomerate recently signed a 30 years 95.7 billion shilling project with the Kenya Electricity Transmission Company Ketraco, with Adani Energy Solutions Limited and Adani Airport Holdings Limited was negotiating with the Kenya Airport authorities for a lease agreement for Jomo Kenyatta International Airport for a period of 30 years. Lawyer Nick Ruto, President William Ruto's son, who earlier came under storm over his association with Dentons, Hamilton, Harrison and Matthews, a law firm that represented Adani Airports Holdings Limited, in the case that challenged its bid to take over the Jomo Kenyatta International Airport. In the Ketraco deal, Adani Energy Solutions Limited was to build and operate the 495.68 billion shilling electricity transmission lines and 2 substations for 30 years. Both deals, executed under the public-private partnership arrangement, were shrouded in secrecy, and it took a Kenyan student in France, Nelson Amenya, to blow the lead on the JKIA lease. It is Amenya who revealed the Adani connection in documents sent to Kisii Senator Richard Onyonka, who demanded that the government comes clean on the deal.
Your Excellency, how can we sell our airports? What is it? How can we take 14 airstrips and give them to an Indian company? Nobody knows the agreement and what has been signed. We have 5,000 employees with the Kenya Airports Authority, and nobody knows where these people are going to go.
And when the government pushed through implementation of the Social Health Insurance Fund beginning October 1st last year, System H's left thousands of patients stranded as hospitals across the country could not register patients or process claims. Many of those had already onboarded the National Hospital Insurance Fund and paid up to the end of the year, but could not access treatment, even for critical ailments, as hospitals demanded cash payment. Revelations by the Social Health Authority that it had bypassed a system developed by NHIF and instead initiated a new one, the Integrated Information Technology System for Universal Healthcare, kicked up a storm, especially after it emerged that the 104 billion shilling cost was higher than what NHIF had procured. The tender to develop the system was awarded to Safaricom, which then onboarded 2 other entities to form a consortium. The telco took up a 22.6% stake, Convergence Network Solutions 17.9%, and Apeiro 59.5%. Focus quickly shifted to Apeiro, a company that had only recently been registered in Kenya, and details soon emerged that it was owned by Adani Group. This is the point where Khawaja's role started to be questioned, given his close ties with Ruto, his position as Safaricom chairman and a managing partner at Denton's HHM, the Adani Group's lawyer, in the court cases filed to challenge the JKIA and Ketraco deals. In a series of posts on X, formerly Twitter, Amenya also claimed Saini was the fixer of shady deals that were being executed by the Ruto administration, including SHA Systems, one whose implementation was just like in the case of JKIA, and Ketraco was shrouded in secrecy. On his part, Onyonka used the dossier sent to him by Amenya to put Roads and Transport CS Davis Churchill to task of the manner in which it was being executed, describing it as an octopus. Under pressure from the Kisii senator, the CS admitted that the deal was shrouded with mystery, raising concerns on tendering, due diligence and fraud allegations. He however added that it had not been signed and could be set aside if it was not giving Kenyans value for their money. President Ruto and other top officials, however, defended the deals, saying they saved the country from heavy borrowing to implement capital-intensive infrastructure projects. It took the indictment of Adani, one of Asia's richest men, and other senior executives in the United States for agreeing to make payments to Indian officials to win contracts for his renewable energy company, expected to yield more than $2 billion in profits over 20 years for President Ruto to cancel the JKIA and Ketraco deals. Despite this pronouncement, there has been no confirmation that they were cancelled. High Court Judge Bahati Mamui is set to rule on the matter on April 8, 2025. For its part, the SHA system deal is still on, though the challenges are yet to be resolved. It is thus likely to face fresh parliamentary scrutiny after National Assembly Speaker Moses Wetangula ordered the Health Committee to look into why the new insurance scheme is not working for Kenyans. A 61-year-old nurse, Grace Njuki Mulei, who alongside a lactating mother stormed Health CS Deborah Barata's office at Afya House to complain about SHA system failure at Kenyatta National Hospital, was recently arrested and detained at Capitol Hill Police Station and later released without any charges. KNH confirmed the system failure.
We are at the gate waiting. 20 patients. We have walked all the way from Kenyatta Hospital, coming here for treatment. From last week, Wednesday, the systems are not working. And I have come here to protest. From yesterday, he has been waiting for the SHA to work. It is not working.
An update by the Director of Criminal Investigations indicated she would be charged with causing disturbance. During an ongoing National Assembly Health Committee retreat in Naivasha, members of Parliament forced Medical Services Principal Secretary Hilary Kimtai to withdraw the case against Mulei.
Who is the complainant in regard to the lady who was arrested? Yes. The complainant is the Minister of Health. I am answering the question. Honorable Speaker and honorable members, we've heard you. And since the Minister is a complainant, we are going to review the case, and if there is need for us to we are going to withdraw the case.
MPs further castigated the arrest over raising concerns against SHA as uncalled for. While Khawaja and Jayesh names are likely to continue attracting public attention, the two have however previously exonerated themselves from the deals, with Jayesh suing Armenia for defamation in both Kenya and France over his ex-posts. A judge in Paris, however, dismissed his suit for lack of jurisdiction and instead ordered him to pay Armenia 667,000 shillings as costs. On his part, Khawaja also asserts that the SHA deal with Safaricom was conceived before he became Telco's board chair. Khawaja told a local daily in September last year, quote-unquote, "We gave some preliminary advice to Convergence. They are a big technology firm that has done many successful large projects. This project was started by former President Uhuru Kenyatta, and it is only now that we are seeing its implementation." End of quote. But critics have pointed out that Denton's HHM, a law firm in which he is a managing partner, plays in the deal as Convergence and his nearly 30-year ties with President Ruto. At the same time, Denton's HHM is also Adani Group's lawyer in the cases filed to challenge the JKIA and Ketraco deals.